Welcome to the world of Joan. Today I want to talk to you about the basis of a prepper. Now, a lot of people they get this vision because of the Doomsday Prepper show and some of the other stuff that they're all crazy. That they're all out there and they're breathing gloom and doom and they're walking around with these big signs on them saying, the world's going to end tomorrow or whatever. Everybody has different types of fears, but most people are just sensible, getting down, back to the basics. That's it. A lot of them's getting where they're doing small gardens in their backyard. They're going to the organic garden and get away from the insects and the bugs and the chemicals because they have families they want to think about. And there's so much stuff in the foods that we buy at the stores. Now, I'm guilty just like anybody else. I like going to my restaurants and getting me a burger and fries and drink a Coke and stuff. I'm just as guilty as anybody else. Do I have to have it? No, I can live without it. For me, you would probably label me as a prepper, but I'm more of a sensible prepper. I'm back to nature prepper. It's reteaching myself things that I grew up knowing as a child around my kinfolks. It's reteaching myself how to can, how to dry my own food, how to raise my own food without all this bug stuff. This is what most preppers are. They're not out there preaching gloom and doom. They're not out there, oh, this what it is. It is cost of living that has caused so many people to start to change the things they do. They still want their lights. They still want to water. But rainwater is illegal in some areas. And there's a way around it. I want to have a couple of 55-gallon barrels fixed up in the basement to catch my rainwater. Because eventually, I want to make soap and different things. And I will filter that rainwater for the purpose of using it for certain things. I like using rainwater for my animals. I don't like using the city water. I use the rainwater for my plants. When I make up my mixture for my food and insect repellent for my plants, I use rainwater. So it's illegal in a lot of states. So you got to figure out a way around it. You got to figure out how to fish you a couple of barrels in a garage or in a shed or whatever where it's not really exposed. It is because they want us to be hooked up on the water systems. They want us to be hooked up on the lights. That has a lot to do with it. Now, my light bill was $29 this month. And the reason for that, I made my own solar lights. I just went and bought some glasses, glued some stuff on it. But when the battery gets bad, I can pop it off. Set it outside, let it charge. I set them in the window. Get 3 or 4 hours worth. I quit leaving my light on all night because I had enough light coming through the window for 3 or 4 hours. If the battery wore down and the solar lights weren't working, I carried me a flashlight and went up and down the steps. I quit using so much electricity. So my light bill was $29 this month because of that. As long as we continue to keep our lights and our water, they're happy. Most people who choose to live off the grid are not centric people. They're not crazy. Most of them live very comfortable. They're not living back in the pioneer days. Most of them's not living in a bug out shelter. Most of them has solar power, wind power. They have well water. They catch rainwater and they filter it to make sure it's clean and sanitized. So please don't judge all preppers by this handful you see on the doomsday preppers, by this handful of people that gets talking out there out of left field. They make the rest of us look bad. I'm just basic nature. I'm just learning how to get back to things I want to get back to. That's all I'm doing. If the SHT ever hits, as they call it, I can live off the land because I know what I can eat off that land. I know how to fix a lot of it. And there's a lot of it I still don't know. But every day I'm reteaching myself how to do this. Just simple little things that you learn. like the sycamore trees here in Ohio. Do you know you can get water out of them? They have a white bark. They're full of water. They do not burn well in fires. And they're the only log that was sink in the water because they're full of water. So being a prepper doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean that we have crawl space filled with food. It doesn't mean that we have hidden compartments everywhere. All it simply means for most of us, the basic, down to earth, getting back to nature preppers, collecting some rainwater because it's better for our plants, creating irrigation for the plants, canning our own food, drying our own food, learning simple little things, creating our own worm compost bins so we can have good, rich dirt, going organic more and raising our foods. So if someone turns around and they plant 2 tomato plants, and that's all, or maybe 2 more pepper plants in a 5-gallon jug or whatever, that does not mean they're a crazy prepper. All that means is that they are trying to save some money. They're trying to get back to a little bit nature and survive. So from the world of Joan, just think about what I've told you. We're not all crazy. So you be safe, you be happy. Bless you all.